Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here to be talking about Gladiator 2. Now, Gladiator 2 takes place around close to 20 years, or give or take, after the events of the first film, which follows this guy named Lucius, who witnessed, the finale, basically, of the first film, and having his hometown conquered by the Roman Empire. He is also being thrown into this gladiator ring, and he wants to try to work his way up to exact revenge on the people who conquered his town, but also, learning in a way more about himself and going forward. So now, this film is directed by Ridley Scott, who directed the original Oscar-winning film, and it's really interesting because this is a unique case, or sort of unique case, of me unfortunately never seeing the original, but of course seeing, the iconic clips and moments of it and knowing basically the general plot. So me going into this, I got a chance to see it with my dad, who really loved the original and all, and I want to say this film was great because what I really liked about it is, for one, it's been a minute since I've really been able to go out to a theater and watch it, so I had that sense of, oh, it's good to be home type of feeling. But also, besides that, there's just a lot that this film has going for it that I really love. The main thing that I really like, of course, is what you would expect, the action. A lot of the sword fights, like, besides even in the Colosseum, like, just the opening of the film without giving anything away, which is, how, our main protagonist, how his home is conquered by, Rome. There's a really good sequence that there's some good fight sequences and big, like, battle that happens, and it just really gets you enthralled into the film. But besides that, what the film has, like, even though, like, there's a lot of cool stuff that happens, especially in the Colosseum, and what they were able to accomplish and all, and I know most of it's like CGI and all, but it just felt like so grand and epic in scope. And another thing that I really loved, besides, the action throughout, is the story. Now, I've been seeing the film, overall it has positive reception, but it's not as positive as one would think, even amongst audiences. So, I really am curious as to why, and maybe it could be by some story beats, because when you walk into the film, you're expecting it to, like, the main bad, if you will, was Pedro Pascal's character. Like, it's showing him as, like, that big fight that he's going to have with, the main character, Paul Mescal's character. But going into the film and watching it, I guess it kind of subverts his expectations, if you will, on that. And, like, all the marketing showed those two fighting in the Colosseum, and it showed that big fight between them. But there's more to the movie than just that, if you will. And it really does have an emphasis on, exploring the background of your main protagonist. And you learn more about him that I guess people weren't really expecting. And it kind of ties in very well to the original film. For those who have seen it, you know exactly what I mean about how it ties in. And the performances as well throughout are really solid. Now, Pedro Pascal he was one of the, hypes that people were like, oh, he's in this, and they were excited. But he's kind of underutilized here, where he's not in it as much as you would expect from the marketing. But for what he's in, he still did a really solid job, and he was really good. His wife in the film, Connie Nelson, I thought she added a lot of nuance and, emotion to the role that kind of, grounds it and makes it like you really relate to her character and all, because she's technically, like the bad guy side, but she adds a lot of depth to her portrayal, and I thought that I just want to give her a shout out specifically. And the big standout that everyone's hyping up was Denzel Washington, who plays the guy who basically recruits the main character, Paul Mescal's character, who also turns in a really well done performance. He kind of recruits him and takes him through the ranks to get to the Colosseum, and is kind of like leading him on. And you find out, does he have ulterior motives? What's his main agenda? And there's just a lot of politics inside this film as well, about besides just the big grand epic fighting and effects and all the hoopla. There's more political stuff going on about, like, behind the scenes on the two kings, the two kings that are ruling, who are really flamboyant and not good people at all. There's a lot of works behind the scenes. Like, you know, people don't really like them, and a lot of people, like Pedro Pascal's character, you could tell doesn't want to put up with it, but they're kind of in a situation where they have to do what the kings want. And so there's a lot of nuance on what you would think would be the antagonist side, because they conquered your main character's home. They you know, what happened in the film is like, whoa, but there's just more there that really fleshes out the antagonist side that really makes it satisfying when you know, watch the events of the film. And if I did have a critique, besides, you know, I guess the underusage of Pedro Pascal's character and kind of subverting expectations of what people expected was going to happen in the film, was, I guess, some of the effects. I don't know, it's just some of the effects, how you're watching it, especially like, while I do love the beginning actions, you know, sequence and all, I thought that was cool. Some of them just kind of looked, I don't want to say bad, but they just kind of looked like, that doesn't seem right. Like when you have a big exterior shot of the ships earlier in the film, or even like the sharks, I thought kind of looked goofy and stuff, because there was a sequence with sharks that I don't want to give too much away. And also that sequence in particular, which if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about, I saw a lot of people got annoyed with because of the, I guess, quote unquote, historical accuracy of if that actually happened or not. But with little nitpicks here and there, it's really hard to critique the film on that. But overall, it had really solid performances. It was a gripping story, and, you know, really solid to great action sequences in some aspects that just really carried the film. And for a film being 2.5 hours, which is around the time it was, when it was over, I looked at my dad and we were like, that's it? Because it just blew on by. And I think a movie's doing something right if you don't even check your watch about, man, this movie's still going. So I think that's really impressive that the film was able to be that long and still satisfy us in the end. But with all that said, those are my thoughts on Gladiator 2. Again, what did you all think of this film? Please let me know down below in the comment section. And did you like the film, or do you have some negative thoughts on it? Please let me know down below. And if you want to hit the subscribe button and the bell as well, then to get notified when I upload, that would mean so much to me. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye.